There's some elements and some times when we ride our motorcycles that it becomes a Zen moment. We are one with the bike. We are one with the atmosphere. We are gliding through the space like the Silver Surfer in the Marvel comic books. The cars that are coming past us are like meteors, and we're just going forward. Damn the torpedoes. We are in the moment. Does that happen to you? I had such a moment just yesterday. I'm going to talk about that. And cell phones, of all things, coming up next.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Welcome to another episode of Indian Motorcycle Radio. I am your host, Reverend Ken Blanchard. And man, what a week it was. My wife wasn't doing that great. My spirit was low. I got on the bike. I did some great rides. I put some miles on the Indian. It helped me. I prayed. I toured the countryside. You know how we do. And the good news is, just last Saturday, she turned around and she's coming back again. She's doing okay. So that's the good news. But a red car almost took me out the other day. Have you ever seen it when you're riding in the left lane and you're passing cars and then you see that there's a car ahead of you that's tailgating a box truck and that person is not paying attention, and you can almost tell there's like a spider sense that's happening in your life? It only takes a moment. It's really fast, but you know that car is going to come into your lane and you're too close not to get touched. That happened to me. And because I was riding in the Zen, I was flowing like the Silver Surfer, I saw it coming. And I looked left and there was about, 10 inches of space of where the shoulder was before the grass hit. And I thought, if I hit the brake now, I'm going to hit the back end of this red car. Music was playing. Dire Straits was screaming, money for nothing and your chicks for free. And that riff went right along with the throttle because that's what I touched. I hit the throttle and I moved up past the car, and the lady freaked out. She was like, she knows she was wrong, right? But I just kept moving. And I got in front of her, and she actually pulled off the highway, knowing that she was wrong. I never saw her again. She pulled off, and I kept on moving. Surfing with the alien, baby. But my life did not flash before my eyes. This one I could handle, only because I was in the moment. Make sure that when you're riding that you are paying attention. Those caged riders are some dangerous people. This lady, her head was not in the game. I'm glad that mine was. So yeah, I accelerated, went across the yellow line, cruised for about a car length, and got ahead of her and the box truck, and kept on booking. Sometimes you just gotta accelerate.
Direct from our newsroom in Washington, in color.
All right, I was scrolling through the news on my phone, and I hit something that said, Apple warns riders not to mount iPhones on their motorcycles. What? Apple warns riders not to mount iPhones on their motorcycles. It says that bike vibrations can apparently wreck iPhone cameras. And who needs navigation anyway? This is from an article by somebody named Janaki Jitchotvisut. And I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. On September 10th, 2021, Apple published a new support bulletin advising many late-model iPhone users against mounting their devices on motorbikes. What's the reason? And to quote the document directly, exposing your iPhone to high amplitude vibrations within certain frequency ranges, specifically those generated by high-powered motorcycle engines, can degrade the performance of the camera system. The language is, shall we say, somewhat imprecise. For example, Apple doesn't give any clue as to the specific frequency ranges involved, nor what it defines as a high-power motorcycle engine. And it's worth bearing in mind that in some countries around the world, bikes over 400 cc's are considered to be big bikes, where other countries, like the United States of America, seem to think that anything under 1,000 cc's is small. Actual numbers are helpful when you are an international company seeking to address the needs of many and various groups of people. Still, maybe Apple wasn't at all concerned about the lack of specificity, easy for you to say, because they went on to recommend that iPhone owners probably shouldn't use them on smaller engine two-wheelers either, such as mopeds or scooters. The exact wording there is, quote, attaching your iPhone to vehicles with small volume or electric engines, such as mopeds and scooters, may lead to comparatively lower amplitude vibrations. But if you do so, a vibration dampening mic or mount is recommended to lessen the risk of damage to your iPhone and its optical image stabilization, OIS, and autofocus, AF, systems. WTF. It then goes on to say that it is also recommended to avoid regular use for prolonged periods to further lessen the risk of damage. Again, what constitutes prolonged periods and or regular use? Tell riders you want them to cease using iPhones on all types of motorbikes without telling riders you want them to cease using iPhones on all types of motorbikes. Apple. Sheesh. What iPhone models are affected? Mac Rumors, which first spotted the new support document, adds that the OIS and the closed-loop AF systems that Apple cites as potentially being negatively impacted by motorcycle vibrations have been in use from the iPhone 7 forward. Additionally, the iPhone 6 Plus and the iPhone 6 Plus also makes use of these systems. Now, riders who are also iPhone users have brought up problems they've had pertaining to this issue on forums in the past. However, this September 2021 support document from Apple is the first statement the company has officially made about it. It's not clear why it's making the statement at this exact moment in time. In any case, that's clearly going to frustrate a large number of people who use their iPhones for navigation, music, and just the general fact of modern life in 2021. The sources for this? Apple, Mac Rumors, The Verge, and Engadget. Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better that I bought the anti-vibration dampening gizmo on my quad lock that I just put on. But it still raises an eyebrow. Should have checked this bad boy off because I use my phone a lot for stuff. But who knows? Maybe we should put it somewhere else. And where would that somewhere else be? Inquiring minds want to know. Let me know what you think about this whole cell phone on a bike, the quad lock as a product, blah, blah, blah. Share with your brother. Tell me what you think. I'm also looking for a list of vendors, things that you think are useful, things that a new bike owner should have. And I'm trying to figure out, should I buy a torn pack? Should I get the whole full-size blicky? Or should I get the sleek-looking, can't put anything in there but a envelope? What do you call that thing? Razor. Looks really cool, but you can't use it for nothing, except for maybe stamps. Let me know. And a horn, oh my God. A horn would have been on time, like earlier in my story. But again, when you put a horn, sometimes people act crazy when you scare them. They might jerk the wheel or turn the wrong way, and that's why I didn't do it earlier. But I'm definitely thinking about a horn. But I just don't want one that's like a brass trombone on the side of the bike. It definitely will alter the look. But when it comes to safety, I might bite the bullet on that one. What's your thoughts on the aftermarket horns that they sell? Right now, I feel like folks are just getting me. I mean, There's so many things that I need and I want, and money going out like nobody's business. Make it stop. So what's been the best resource for finding parts, for finding aftermarket stuff, finding affordable, nice, high-quality stuff? Do you go back to your dealership? Hey, there's 2 events that are coming up this month that I wish I had planned better. I would have tried to make them both. There's an Americade, September 21st through the 25th up at Lake George, New York. That's about 6 hours from the nation's capital. I've never tried it, but I want to make that ride. So if it's not going to be this year, I don't think. We've got too much happening in my personal life. But next year, I think I'm going to try to make it. Anybody here ever been to Lake George for the Americade? It's supposed to be like the largest expo for motorcycles ever. Or largest single-site motorcycle expo. That's what they say on their website anyway. They got factory demos and riding events, and the countryside just looks nice. Probably second to Sturgis, you know. A lot of the touring bikes, cross-country folks do the Americade thing. Their family is more family-friendly than the quote biker rally. They even have boat cruises up here in Americade University. There's the second largest balloon festival in the U.S. that happens during that weekend. And then there's a comedy show by a guy by the name of Alonzo Bowden. And he's been doing it for probably 5 or 6 years that I know of. He's been on television, radio. He's in Vegas. I've actually seen him a couple of times. Yeah. Never heard of Americade? You can check out all the stuff at americade.com. And starting this week on September 15th through the 19th of this week, OC, Ocean City, their Bike Fest 2021 up in Ocean City, Maryland. And they got George Thorogood and Destroyers. Who else is up there? Some really big names. It's a multi-day event. It's going to be at Ocean City Inlet on Atlantic Avenue, Ocean City, Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Brett Michaels, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Tesla, Foghat, Kicks, Great White, and more. Ain't that something? If you're into rock and roll, man, or lady, this is for you. And they got like passes for different stuff. Wristbands required, vendors, stuff at the convention center. And it looks like it's all over at almost every venue in Ocean City, to include a motorcycle dealership in Salisbury. So from Wednesday on, there's going to be, of this week, motorcycle events and things for us, for bikers, up in Ocean City, Maryland. I might have to go up there one day. We're going to work that out. I kind of like George Thorogood. I haven't seen him in probably 2 decades. All right, I think that's it for this week. Even though this is like super, super fast, I had no idea it was going to be so short. But again, it's been that kind of a week. You know, this lady was walking in the church parking lot, and she saw the pastor like trip over his own feet. And he threw his books up in the air. He threw his bag up in the air, and he landed face first on the concrete. And she just looked at him. And when somebody walked by and they said, "Are you not going to help?" She says, "Nah, I'm not going to pick that bitch up." All right, so this week I'm really asking you your resources. And I know I'll get just 1 or 2 people, but if I could get 5 or 6, that would be outstanding. On what you buy, where you shop, recommendations, and what do you think of the article, the news clip about iPhones and vibrations and having a phone on your motorcycle? We'd love to hear your input. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. If you like the show, throw me a couple of shekels at buymeacoffee.com/motorcycles.
Work here is done. I'm needed elsewhere now. I'm needed wherever outlaws rule the West, wherever innocent women and children are afraid to walk the streets, wherever a man cannot live in simple dignity, and wherever a people cry out for justice. All right, you caught me. Speak the plain truth. It's getting pretty damn dull around here.
All right, my friends, that's it for this week. I want to thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to your favorite righteous podcast, Indian Motorcycle Radio. Now may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Kickstands up. Let's ride.